Now, before anybody comments on it and calls me stupid or whatever, yes, I realize the YouTube featured image is backwards, but I did that on purpose because of the times in Return of the Jedi where the film was reversed. I didn't get a reversed figure or anything, or I didn't accidentally flip the picture. It was all on purpose, I swear. This is gonna be great. Here we go. Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Tonight, I'm taking a look at the Medicom MAFEX Star Wars Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. I was looking forward to this figure for two reasons. A, this is the first 6-inch action figure that we've gotten of the Return of the Jedi version. And two, I was hoping that this turns out as good as the MAFEX Empire Strikes Back version, which miraculously has ended up one of my top figures of the year. That figure is fantastic. I'm hoping this is up to that standard. Looking at the package, we have a big window box here. It shows the figure, the weapon, some extra hands. The stand in the background is loose, but whatever, it's the stand. Have a nice graphic up front, the logos. On the side, have a pretty picture of Boba Fett. On the back, more pretty pictures showing the backpack and different stances. Some stuff I can't read where I would usually say something like, warning, this figure's going to fall apart on you and stuff, but I have high hopes for that. Is that a good thing? I don't know. The higher hopes I have, the more they could be crushed. Yeah, that's too deep. Let's look at some action figure. The side is logo and another pretty picture. On the bottom is a bunch of unreadables. Usually says something like, don't eat it. And then the top is just logo. So I'm going to get this open and see if my excitement is justified. Okay, it looks like the stand was supposed to be taped up here. There's another piece of Scotch tape, but it's all wadded up onto the package. Which, again, like I said, it's the stand, whatever, it's coming out. And again, like the Empire Strikes Back version, there's kind of a clamshell around the head. I guess it's to protect the face or the rangefinder. And there we go, all out of the package. You know what? We have another winner on our hands here. I really dig this figure. The quality is up there again. It's nearly perfect. There's just one slight thing that kind of bugs me, but we'll get to that here in a minute. It's not a biggie, but yeah. But sculpt-wise, it's just as nice as the first Boba Fett, and it doesn't share as many parts as what you would think. Paintwork is nice, it has all the scuffs, it has all the scratches. The colors seem to match the movie pretty good. This isn't just a rehash of the first version. This feels like its own entity, its own character, as it should be. They didn't go the easy route with this figure, I should say. Now, right off the bat, as you can probably tell already, is my big sticking point here, and that is the Rangefinder Antenna. It is loose as hell. I don't ever plan on displaying it with it down. I don't see us ever getting a 1/12 scale Slave 1 for him to sit in. Yeah, I am completely good with gluing this up into position to get it to stay there, because as I'm posing around, as I'm moving it around, it just starts drooping. Otherwise, though, everything is nice and tight. It's extra awesome when it comes to a MAFEX figure. So this is 2 in a row for me from MAFEX, but I'm just sticking to the Star Wars figures. So there may be other lines out there that are getting quality control issues. And before getting into articulation and everything about this specific figure, let's get the comparison out of the way, what everybody is wondering. As you can see, yes, there is some reuse to this sculpt. The head, I believe the chest, because the backpack has that same kind of tilt to the left kind of thing going on. The upper part of the right arm, it has 3 tubes going into it off the Gauntlet, as opposed to the Empire Strikes Back version, which has only the 1. But all the wrinkles, all the sculpt, it seems to be the same. Now for the gauntlets, they seem like mostly reuse, except for the parts that stick off the back. Those seem to be separate pieces anyway. They're completely changed for the Return of the Jedi version, which is accurate, I believe. Get down to the waist, the belt's different, the whole crotch piece is different for the most part. Now on the legs, they're nearly the same, so I figured they would reuse the original legs, but no, except for maybe the knees, the legs are all new sculpt, just subtle differences too. The pouches on the front of his thighs, it has like extra folds in it. It's a different style of pouch. The wrinkles are different. Get down to the shins, and I call it the hair comb on the right side. It's reversed. There's little wrinkle differences too. The Empire Strikes Back version has more of a tuck to it, more of a bunch. The Return of the Jedi version is just barely a little bit more streamlined. And then I didn't even realize it on the first figure, but the cuffs right above the boot are a separate piece. They kind of move with the foot, which made it easy to change to the Return of the Jedi version, which has kind of a more droop to it. It's not bunched up on top of the boot. The cape is reused, looks like. The backpack for the most part is reused, but one little antenna stick looking thing on the left side does seem to be replaced. So yeah, Medicom went above and beyond and made the obvious changes as well as the subtle changes. Now I had kind of the same problem on the first version. The F and the teardrop on Fett's logo here on his chest, they're kind of offset. With the original, it was offset that way. With this one, it's kind of down and to the right. And another thing I didn't notice on the original, there's actually a face up under there that's kind of wrapped in the same color as the jumpsuit. Looks like there's more up in there, but I'm not going to risk it. Now for articulation, there seems to be a ball up under that head. You get pretty good side to side. You get forward, not all the way down, and then up, not so great. What may be causing that is you can see the seam line in the front of the neck here, and it actually gets better up and down when you turn it to the side. So you might want to get in there and turn the neck until the seam is on the side, and it seems to get better up and down there. The arms are kind of in a cup. You can shift up and down a little bit, and then there's a ball joint on the outside of that where you get out. Shoulder pad kind of gets in the way because it is attached to the torso. And then swivel, going to run into the shoulder pad again. There is some give to it, but it looks like it's actually coming off the torso right there. Probably don't want to get crazy with that. Got a swivel at the bicep on the ball. Got double elbow, comes up past 90, pretty good. Ball at the wrist, and you can set that to go in any direction you want, side to side, up and down. And then there's swivel. Coming around to the back, these are articulated. You can kind of angle them out or down or whichever direction you want to go. Ball at the lower torso, not a lot of movement there. The belts kind of get in the way, kind of holds him back, but you can get that. And then side to side. Oh yeah? We're going to do a flyover today? The hips are on a drop down joint and then a ball on the outside of that, but they are attached together, the two legs. So when you pull one down to get a little bit of extra, if you try to pull the other one down, it kind of just teeter-totters. But with a pull down, you can get out pretty far, forward, back, and then you can shove that back up in there. Thigh swivel on that ball. Double knee gets to about right there. The ankle has a ball. You can rotate there, but not all the way around. I don't know what's stopping it. It has this piece kind of hiding it. Swings back, swings forward, and again, this piece kind of follows the foot around to keep it covered. You have forward-facing pin for some rocker, and then a little bit of toe joint. For accessories, he comes with two open hands, kind of waving, kind of flying, or to hold the weight of his blaster. He comes with two fists, for if he wants to get in some fisticuffs. And then for the right hand, he has the trigger finger to hold the blaster. This is the blaster that he had in Return of the Jedi. This is a really nice sculpt. It has a silver dry brush over the metal parts of it, and then the wood on the stock is a nice brown. For comparison, here he is with the Black Series Han Solo. This is a good size. Like with the first version, when I opened it up, I thought it was going to be a little bit big, but once I got it beside other figures, it fits into the 6-inch scale perfectly. And then here he is with his fellow bounty hunter, the Black Series Bosk. So at the end of the day, if the only thing I have to complain about is the rangefinder antenna thing on his helmet, then we're having a good day, especially when it comes to MAFEX. I feel like I'm kind of rehashing the first review, but the sculpt is nice, the paint is nice, the articulation works really well. Over the course of playing with it, the hand did loosen up just very, very slightly. It kind of comes off when I try to put the gun in both hands, but just stick it back on, we're good to go. It's nothing like the antenna. But if the first version was pretty much my figure of the year, where does that leave this one? This is a very, very tough call. But if it came down to it and I had to make a decision between the two of these, honestly, man, yeah, that's tough. I think I'd have to go with Empire version, but that's just a purely personal preference choice. It looks more uniform. It looks more militaristic. The Jedi Fett, it has a little bit more pizzazz, a little bit more colors thrown in it. It looks more pieced together, which is cool in its own right. I don't know, ask me again tomorrow and I'll probably say the Jedi Fett. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.